The Great Priest and Whis, a young Whis, are floating through the universe as the Great Priest is taking Whis to his final testing ground. Grand Priest tells Whis that this test will require no staff and he will simply have to use his sheer speed. He will have to focus all of his angelic energy and prove that he's fast enough to keep up with the other angels. Otherwise, he'd be starting on the bottom. Young Whis nods and asks his father, what exactly is this test? He's proven to be stronger than almost all of the gods of destruction in the multiverse, and he is smart enough to know almost every secret of the universe, barring from him, Lord Zeno, and Zuno himself. They get ready, and the Grand Priest simply says that he has contacted a friend from Earth as a favor. He then arrives on an alternate Earth than the one we're used to, and the Grand Priest arrives and meets up with a person named Wally West. Wally West is the Flash of this world, and the Grand Priest says that he is the fastest being in the multiverse. Well, this section of the multiverse. Whis says it's an honor to meet him. And the Flash says, well, it's just a favor since the Grand Priest did save his world after all. They ran into each other one time before, and the Grand Priest had restored his Earth after it had been destroyed. Oh well. Anyways, Wally says that he's happy to help the Grand Priest in any way he can see fit, and he will serve as his final test. The Grand Priest says that he will be racing to King Kai's world. However, this King Kai's world is in Universe 7. They are currently in Universe 18. Remember, young Whis, so the multiverse is still somewhat intact. So there's 18 universes. They will have to travel across 11 of those universes to be able to reach King Kai's world in Universe 7. So, Whis has to keep up with Wally's speed, or vice versa. And Whis bows to Wally, and then they both take a running stance. They instantly take off with Whis lacking behind as Wally gets ahead, and they race across the end of this universe to the end of this universe to the other end of it to break through the wall. Wally has enough speed and he instantly just vibrates through it. Whis, however, has to take a minute, stop, and open a portal and then fall through. He knows he's not fast enough to keep up with Wally in this state, so he instantly activates Ultra Instinct and flies in, and he sends a key blast at Wally, and Wally jumps and says, "Hey, wait a minute, that ain't fair. There's no fighting in this." Whis tells him that he isn't fighting him, he's distracting him, and then Wally just sees a big light show which blinds him. Whis then dashes on and keeps up. He then surpasses Wally as Wally then decides to bust out his ultimate move and gets in contact with himself from the Speed Force and generates some of the Speed Force's energy into him and then dashes off even faster to keep up with Whis. Wally is now insurmountably more powerful and faster than Whis. Not exactly powerful, but faster than Whis. However, Whis is getting frustrated by this and starts to lose his Ultra Instinct. Wally tells him that he's not here by malicious intent, but he does need to win this. Come on, Whis, don't give up. And then he dashes ahead and gets nearly 2 whole universes ahead. Whis is just left in the dust. And he remembers what his father has been training him for. Be true to himself and focus on nothing at all. The power of nothingness. The full power of Ultra Instinct. And then dashes on in and unlocks the angelic level of it, the fullest potential of it. And dashes up and is catching up with Wally, who's somewhat impressed and then continues to go forward. However, as they get nearer and nearer to the 5th universe, there's something that happens. There's an odd electricity that hits them both as their speed is beginning to merge. And then out crashes a new being who stops in the middle of the race to relish this power. And we see that Whis has now been accidentally merged with a part of the Flash, at least the Speed Force part, as he holds the Flash, going by the moniker of somewhat of having Godspeed. Flash has no idea what's going on and questions how is Whis even able to do this, and Whis tells him that he didn't mean to steal his speed, he just has to win this, he has to make his father proud. Wally tells him that his connection to the Speed Force has been transferred to him by accident. Whis will not win fairly by this. The Dai Shinkan will simply just reverse time and kick him out of the angelic ranks. Give the power back and let him win fairly. And Whis knows that this is what his father would want, and he wants nothing more than to make his father proud. So he nods and transfers the Speed Force back. However, he does comment that they would make a powerful fusion. And Wally says maybe an after effect of having Whis merged with him would be to be able to unlock Ultra Instinct, but only time will tell. They then get back into position and dash off as the race continues. Wally and Whis have decided that it is finally time to end this race, and they dash up with their ultimate speed and keep going. However, Wally gets smart. Even though Whis is now able to learn more of his tricks and activate his own angelic speed force and able to keep up since he was just merged with the Flash, Wally has his own trick. He's not just drawing on the Speed Force, he's drawing on everyone who's currently in motion in the entire universe and their strengths, which boosts him even higher, which Whis catches on to, but can't do the same thing. He just started using the Speed Force. So they go faster and faster and faster, and they keep going and going, and Wally thinks to himself that Whis is going to pass the test, even though he's not as fast. That isn't the point of this test. Not really. However, Whis and him then enter transdimensional time velocity speed, and finally landing Universe 7, dashing past Earth, dashing past Frieza, dashing past Beerus's planet, or what will become Beerus's planet, and then finally breaking through the otherworld barrier, racing through hell, going through heaven, and finally smashing into King Kai's world at a graceful stop. To which the Grand Priest is there to greet them, telling them that they have passed the test. Not Wally, but Whis has. Whis says, but he lost the race. And the Great Priest tells him that the point was to never beat him in a race. The point was to use his Ultra Instinct enough, or his own angelic power enough, to be able to use all the speed he can without destroying the multiverse. However very risky, the Grand Priest can still manipulate time back. Either way, he is proud of his son and makes him a full honorary angel. The Grand Priest then looks at Wally and tells him that he will transport him back to his world now, or does he want to run? Wally says he'd rather run. Whis and him take a bow, and Wally says it's been a great race. Maybe they can fuse again sometime if the multiverse ever needs them. And Whis says he will keep an eye out. And then Wally races off, leaving the Grand Priest to question, what does he mean, fuse? And Whis chuckles and says, it's a bit of a long ride.